Hey everybody, this is Odd Job Entertainment. I am here with Todd from Coax. He is one of the co-owners of Coax Filaments, and he is graciously taking some time to talk to me about what exciting things Coax is doing in the world of US manufactured 3D printing filaments. So Todd, what does American manufacturing mean to you? This is perhaps the worst thing that could happen to an interview. I had the amazing opportunity to sit down with Todd Laughlin, the CEO of Coax 3D. They are a 3D printer filament manufacturer based here in the US, and talk about what it means to manufacture filament in the US. And it really was a great interview. Thanks for your time, Todd. This is totally on me, and I apologize for this, but it seems that the audio for that interview that I thought I had handled in OBS did not actually capture Todd's perspective. So we only have my questions, essentially, and none of Todd's responses. That said, I've been testing Coax filament for the past few weeks since the interview has taken place. It is really great stuff so far. And I do want to highlight what Coax 3D is doing to help 3D printers here in the US. But we're not going to be able to get any of Todd's perspective, which is extremely unfortunate. This is probably the worst day in my life as a content creator.
The worst day of your life so far.
Oh, wow. But let's start with one of the really cool things that Coax 3D is doing. So this is Coax Mystery PLA, which just means that you don't get a guarantee on any specific color. This started off as kind of a candy apple green. Now it's transitioning to a pale pink. It's kind of an uncomfy flesh color, isn't it? But in some ways it's kind of good news because turns out I am not the palest thing on the planet. We do have this. Coax was supportive enough to send over a sampling of their product line free of charge for the purpose of reviewing them for the channel. And after trying out their PLA mystery filament, I was inclined to order some more. I think that this is actually a pretty good deal for consumers. And so I had to make sure that I went ahead and stockpiled before telling you guys about this, because I have a feeling that this might go out of stock once this airs on YouTube. But this is their mystery PLA, and it is the same quality of PLA that you'll get from their colored line, but the difference is when they are changing filament colors that are being actively produced, there is a transitory period where you still have some coloring from the previous filament before it transitions to being the new color. So let's say we're going from red to blue. You still have some red pigments that are influencing the color until that blue is able to take over and now control the color of the filament. So in between those two processes, there is this kind of stuff, which isn't any specific color. It is literally the transition from one to the other. And in a lot of cases, this would be a waste product. But what Coax is doing with this is they sell it at a discounted price. So if you have anything that can be made out of PLA but doesn't need a specific color, this is a good way to get US made PLA at a discount. And I've been really happy with it so far. I've been using it to print the Constellation Mark II that you will have seen recently if you checked out our most recent live stream, and it's been working really good. PLA it's kind of the bog standard for any 3D printing. It has pretty high strength, but it misses out on some of the more advanced features like temperature resistance, things like that. So this will perform exactly like any other PLA that you've come to expect, and you get a discount if you don't care about color, which for me, that's most of the things I make. So it's a really good deal for me. The major selling point of Coax 3D is the US-based manufacturing. Talking to Todd, I left the interview feeling like I could probably make this stuff myself if I had the same equipment. That's honestly an astonishing level of transparency, and it really stuck out to me that Todd takes pride in the product they make, and their highest goal is providing a consistent, reliable product. So when you buy a spool of Coax filament, it will work just the same as one made years from now. So far, I've had the opportunity to try out Coax's mystery PLA, as well as some of their black PLA, ASA, and I have some projects ongoing to use the PETG they sent me. I do plan to do some materials testing in the near future, but I have to get some more things ready before I can do that. This video is actually part of a larger project where I hope to shine a light on American manufacturing. Several of the companies that I reached out to were more than happy to send product over in support of American manufacturing and my video goals. There's been some common themes coming from these conversations that I want to emphasize with my viewers today. If you buy American, you very well might end up spending some more money. I will be making some more videos on the topic in the future, but the bottom line is this. Without skipping out on product quality or forcing human beings to work in horrible conditions, no one can easily compete with China on price point. The question there is, should we even be trying? There's a lot that goes into a product besides just price that we are definitely ignoring if we're just sorting from low to high on Amazon. What additives are in the product? Is it going to off-gas? Is it toxic? Like I said, Todd was very open about what goes into a Coax filament, and you can see that reflected in the SDS and TDS documentation on the website. And currently, there is a shocking lack of regulation in the 3D filament world. But you can see in these documents that being made in the US means something for safety and quality control. And Todd emphasized that the filament you buy today will behave just like a spool from 5 years ago and 5 years from now. They take painstaking measures to ensure that their product is consistent, safe, and easy to use. And, you know, there's also something to be said about a company that I can call on a whim and set up an interview to ask about their product. Even if the monkey at the helm ended up with a corrupted audio file. Yeah. Buying American, though, means you'll be supporting American companies, and for any American, that might be reason enough. But you'll also be getting a reliable product that promises consistent performance and clear communication about potential hazards, so you can prepare for those. Is that worth the jump in price? You'll have to decide that for yourself, but for me, it certainly looks that way. Coax has also offered to make the switch a little easier by providing the community with a discount code. If you use code ODDJOB15 at checkout, you'll pay less for your whole order and you'll get free shipping on orders over $49. Big thanks again to Coax 3D and Todd specifically for helping with this video and helping me showcase some of the brilliant people at work here in the United States. As for how well the filament works, so far I've been very impressed. Particularly with the ASA, which I used to make my DoorDash sign, which was also featured on stream. And unfortunately, it hasn't actually had much of a change with how DoorDash leaves food on my door, but the sign looks and operates great. ASA is a very similar type of plastic to the more common ABS, but it is formulated a little differently so that it won't warp nearly as much, and that was clearly evident with a big, wide print like what the sign actually is. It had very little warpage, and it printed very well. I was thoroughly impressed. Details came out very nice and clean. I've also used it to print the fan shroud that I will be adding to my SBO8, as well as any other kind of product that needs that kind of chemical resistance and temperature resistance. This ASA really seems to be doing very well for me. Realistically, the same thing applies to the PLA as well. I did get a roll of their black PLA, looks great, no complaints there. And for the mystery PLA, you know, there's just so many use cases I can see for PLA where color just really isn't that important. If you're a cosplayer, for instance, you know you're going to be painting it. And so color doesn't matter because that's not going to be the final color anyways. For a lot of the stuff that I do, like this sign here, it's either going to be painted, get some other kind of surface treatment, it's a prototype, or it's just not going to be visible. For any of those cases, a non-color specific PLA will work just fine, and it turns what would otherwise be a massive waste product from other companies into a viable, cheap alternative for a lot of customers. And what more could you want than that, right? You still get a high quality PLA, still performs just like a high quality PLA would. You just don't need to care about the color. And as long as you're okay with that, you don't pay as much. That seems pretty awesome to me. As for the sign, however, yeah, I don't know, guys. I put this on my porch, and at least half the time since testing it on stream, it still fails to get food delivered to where I actually want the food. I have it in literal gold letters with the company's logo saying, hey, put food here, and people still put it wherever they want. So if having big gold letters isn't enough to solve the problem, I don't think it can be helped. But that said, hey, the filament's great. It did its job perfectly. You can see it's capturing those details very well. Everything's nice, sharp, and crisp. No complaints whatsoever. Filament's great. Sign sucks. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this introductory look into Coax 3D as a filament manufacturer. I'm very excited to be using their product. It has been fantastic so far, and I have no complaints. My integrity is very important to me, and if there are any problems, you guys will be the first to hear about it. You guys have already seen that I have no qualms about lambasting companies before, so if Coax happens to have some skeleton in their closet, it'll probably come out here on the channel. But as of right now, they make a great product. I've been really happy with the service, and I'm also really happy with the support that they're giving both to me personally and to my channel members. Speaking of channel members though, Orbital Bombardiers and above get a special mention in each and every video and stream that I make. Special shout out to them goes right here. Thank you, John Best and The Prime. There is still plenty of slots open in Orbital Bombardiers and up if you want to see your name up in lights like these guys. Thank you very much for your continued support. Really means a lot to me.